So I basically like, you'll have your tea bags, so just toss like 10 to 12 of them into a saucepan. You have a saucepan like this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good. And then I just basically like fill it up till it's mostly up to the brim with the filtered water, and I let it steep for I let it boil for about 15 minutes on the heat.
With the
Then
tea.
yes, and then I'll take the heat off, and once the like flame is gone, then that's when you add the sugar, and you're doing kombucha, so yeah, you do sugar, and so this is where if you're gonna do like about this amount, all in all, you do a cup of sugar.
Oh my god.
Right.
What if I put like less? Will it just taste?
It takes longer. That was my initial issue with it as well. It's like there's that much sugar in kombucha, but then I like thought about it as like, well, actually, by the time I'm drinking it, it's not sugar anymore. It's basically it's the food for the SCOBY, and the SCOBY converts it
Wow.
and turns it into the kombucha, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is
So-
fascinating.
It's this. So you'll have the tea here.
Mhm.
Once you take it off the flame, add the sugar.
What if you want to make it like a flavor like ginger or lemon? How do you do
that
that?
happens in the second phase.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like there's this. Once it's steeped like this, and you take it off the flame completely, and you let it cool completely, and then once it's like room temperature, or room temperature, then you can put it in like your jar,
Okay.
and then you can add. I actually like, since I'm a little more eager, I'll let that kind of cool, and then I'll pour it in there anyway, and then pour in the rest of this cool water, so that it like makes the temperature room temperature before it would naturally take for that to like become room temperature. But in any case, I'll have the full tea in here, and then that's when you just pour the SCOBY out of the jar there and pour it into your container here.
Oh wow.
And then that's when you just let it go for like, since it's kombucha, it'll be about a month or two, and yours will be like this.
Oh wow.
This is where you might want to
Okay, let me go.
closer to see, actually. So the top is like open but covered with cheesecloth
Okay.
because it needs to breathe.
Right.
Um, and then you'll see it basically. It starts to, your SCOBY will like kind of fall to the bottom or somewhere in the middle or something, and a new SCOBY will start to grow on top.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how you know that it's like doing good, that it's working and alive and everything.
Oh my god, that's kind of creepy sounding. I heard they look like jellyfish.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah. In any case, you'll have a new SCOBY along with the old SCOBY, and you just taste it. You just keep tasting it every like week or so.
Really?
After, give it about a month initially, and then after about a month, you can just like look to see if it's grown a new SCOBY. That's good. If it has, and if it's thick, like 1/4 of an inch thick or something like that, then that's when you can like basically take a little like taste to see what point it's at, because the longer that you let it brew, the more acidic it becomes. And me personally, what I've found recently now is that I like to let the first round like become a little more acidic than the general kombucha that I like to drink, because then the second stage, when I add all the flavoring and stuff, that's the second stage has another like round of sugar, and so that sugar is what like kind of makes it taste less like acidic. So like I have all these jars here
Oh yeah.
because you'll have, once you get to the second stage, once it's like kind of generally acidic, you know it's done. You can take the scobies out, and then you can basically you can add your flavoring. You can add you can like, what I'll do is get like a whole big thing of organic ginger and peel it, and then like kind of grind it up or chop it up, and then boil it in some water and sugar. So I'll have this like really intense gingery sugary like mixture, and then put that in. Actually let it cool down, of course.
Right.
And then put that in, boom, and then mix it up, and then start pouring it into each bottle and close it up.
Yeah.
And then after about a week, it will have converted the sugar in here. And this is the critical part, because the conversion of the sugar not only like kind of gets rid of that sugar, but that's what also gives it its like carbonation, makes it like bubbly and foamy and stuff, like kind of like soda.
Yeah.
The way that is. Otherwise, at this stage like this, you can actually see how it's
Hold
bubbling
on.
right
Can
now.
I like go a little closer? Yeah.
It's like that's the carbonation flowing out into the atmosphere for the first round,
Right.
which is what you want.
I'm really glad I'm recording this because I would never remember.
Yeah. So the second stage, having it locked up in a container that doesn't breathe, that's what like holds the carbonation in. And then after like with the kombucha, after like a week or so, that's when you can like try one and see like, perfect.
Can I ask, like, how long have you been brewing kombucha?
It's been about 2 years now. Just trial and error, trial and error.
And where did you get your SCOBY?
Let's see. Kombucha, which one did I do first actually? Kombucha or June? I think I just like posted on the chalkboard actually. I was like, someone have a SCOBY?
Oh.
But the kombucha SCOBY is what I did first and saw first, and I saw someone make that post like 2 years ago or something. They were like, anyone want a kombucha SCOBY? And I was like, okay, I guess I'll give it a try. And I got it, and I tried, I started, I brewed the tea and stuff, and generally kind of failed that
Right.
first time. But then I tried it again with like more sugar, because that very first time I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I was like, it's not me that's like consuming the sugar.
And what is in a SCOBY exactly?
A SCOBY is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's two things, bacteria and yeast, which you can actually smell. You can smell it, how it has kind of like that smell of like bread or something. How it has that kind of,
Wow.
yeah. I don't know if you want to smell it or not.
Well, I have my mask on, so it might be kind of impossible.
Right.
But
so yeah, it's basically, as I understand it, it's just like, it's the bacteria and yeast kind of floating all throughout the liquid and everything like that, and then as they die, essentially, the bodies essentially, I guess, float up to the top, and that's what makes, like, you know, generation after generation, like, starts to stack up and make the layer.
So how many generations come out of one, like, bird?
I don't know, millions. It must be. It's gotta be, or well, hundreds of thousands or something. I don't know, but I mean, they're like microscopic.
Right.
And yet they still form this like visible layer. So that's gotta be thousands and thousands and thousands.
Interesting. So I can, yeah. Could I borrow a jar from you and return a jar back to you?
I figured so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
I need to get my equipment for this.
Right.
Thank you.
So I let's see. I figured, so I did this. I just turned off the flame here, so it'll go out, and now it will just steep for another like 30 minutes or so. This one. But I'm gonna add the honey. In the first stage, I don't really care what honey I use so much. It mostly just needs that sweetness. So it's also really critical to know the difference right here with the honey and what I'm brewing. This is for June.
Yeah.
With green tea.
Right.
Kombucha can't process honey. It can only process refined sugar.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. But kombucha can use black tea or green tea. Any kind of tea that is caffeinated.
Right.
So it can do that. It can process. It can use any caffeinated tea. June, on the other hand, can only use green tea. And so the June also has been like essentially trained. It's like basically a kombucha SCOBY that has been trained over many like cycles to be able to process non-refined sugars. So like honey or molasses or something like that. Or like what? Syrup. Anything like non-refined sweetener.
Thank you.
For June. But you have kombucha, so you ate this girl.
Yeah. I brought a lot more for that purpose.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything
could
else?
You give me, time-wise, almost out of time, but could you give me a really quick, like, wrap down of the process, if you recall?
Oh my, like tell you everything you just told me? Oh my gosh, no.
Just like, you know,
well,
brew water.
Yeah, okay,
sure.
yeah, let it seep for like 20 minutes or whatever, and then put it in that big vessel, and then you let it cool ideally, and then add the filtered water, and then put the cheesecloth over it, like how. Then add the
SCOBY.
And then add the SCOBY.
Then the cheesecloth.
Then the cheesecloth.
And then let it do its thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. You're so funny. Yeah. Good thing you asked me to recap for like. Yeah, but as a friend told me, pictures, video, preserve your memory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
all right.
I'll like email you just to like see.
Yeah, of course. I need to. Oh yes. Okay. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna. Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wow. You should like have a video series of how to like brew kombucha. You could totally do it.
Maybe you could show that back to me or something.
Sure, I'll send this to you.
I don't think I'm like too dorky or something. You know?
Okay. Any final words before I stop the video?
No.
Okay.
Just good luck. Have a good time.
Thank you.
And feed your roommates and stuff some good kombucha.